It is nothing like what I have imagined.
I was absolutely hopeless when we started the course, and the process that you go through is absolutely amazing.
I learned how to structure for my training, my workshops, what I'll be doing from now on.
Now, just to tell you, I was 14 years old and left school because I didn't want to speak in front of the class. I leave here today, overcoming that fear.
It's given me my confidence back. It's enabled me to get back up on stage.
You're going to become more powerful, clearer in your message, on point, and you're going to feel like you're part of a tribe.
You can't miss it. This is a total investment in you and your future.
And if you are considering coming along, do not hesitate. The transformation from day to day truly is incredible.
If you're looking to get your message out, I highly recommend that you join Sam and the team for their boot camp.
Powerful, spectacular.
Incredible,
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Amazing journey.
You've got to come, you've got to be here.
Try them, honestly. It'll change your life.
What if I told you that there is a place where you can dream big? A place where you can learn how to be an influencer. A place where you can collaborate with others. What if I told you that there is a group of people just like you? A group that's committed to make a positive impact. A group that believes in what's possible for the future. What if I told you that we can help you make a difference? We can arm you with the right tools to never be underpaid, undervalued, and underrecognized. What if I told you that you can join today, like right now? It's time to make a difference. It's time to shine. This is Speakers Tribe.
One thing that I want to acknowledge you about is investing in yourself and ultimately spending time in online education. If you can learn how you can influence more powerfully through video, if you can learn how to create like your online virtual product and even make money online right now, then I'd love to help you through that journey as well.
To all the staff from Speakers Institute, you guys have been really supportive and really, really lovely and encouraging. But to everybody else, for all of your honesty and your courage for stepping up here and just giving all, because I've learned so much from every single one of you and it's just been really, really good.
I just wanted to say, being out of the workforce for 6 years, looking after little kids, and this is the first course I've ever done, and it was astounding. It blew my mind. It was beyond my expectations, and thank you, Kate, for the feedback today. That was brilliant, and it's given me the confidence to back myself, because I didn't have that before, because you know, when you leave for a while and you come back, it's all a bit dodgy. So thank you.
Sam, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That has been absolutely awesome. I've learned a hell of a lot today, and I really feel like we're all improving. So thank you so much. It's been really awesome.
I wish everyone all the best on the course. I think it's a wonderful course. And Sam, you've created an amazing business, but I also want to congratulate the people you've got working underneath you, because it wouldn't be that great if you didn't have all this wonderful resource. And I congratulate them for supporting you. It's excellent.
I'd actually just like to thank Sam and the team so much for everything you've done, but I'd really like to thank everybody else. I have learnt so much from all of you. It's just been so exhilarating. I'm so excited for each and every one of you, because it's just the growth in such a short space of time has been phenomenal. So thank you all very, very much.
As a child, have you ever played games before? Yes? Right. And have you played catching? Like you try to take someone by the hair, you run after someone and then you tag the person. You did? Yes. Was it fun?
Yes.
Definitely.
Coming to this boot camp really make me very inspired because I get to see people who actually transform themselves, and I hope to take the messages away and spread them, and likewise I hope they spread mine too.
Be like me. My journey with them, the special needs kids, started about 7 years ago. More intimately because I was given a chance to join the place where there are special needs kids.
You really do care. I can see it in your eyes. My encouragement to you to get this message out there. You've been given this message for a reason and a purpose. And if Singapore are leading the world, maybe your message can go global. And you can teach us the importance of actually caring for young people and their special needs. I love your animation, I love your character, I think you're amazing. Something has been planted, you've convinced us, you've spoken with absolute confidence and certainty, and congratulations.
Welcome to Speakers TV, and I'm super excited because on today's Friday episode, we have brought together some of the best speakers in the world. And not only that, if you're really struggling in your life, or maybe you're ready for a transition, or maybe you want to learn how to craft your story, or maybe you want to learn tangible takeaways to get on stage on TENx, or alternatively, learn how to write a best-selling book, then you've tuned into the right episode, because we've put together some of the best speakers in the world to really help and coach you all throughout this episode. So please lean in where you can, and I know that for your life, the best is yet to come.
Our next speaker is a consultant and a coach of Ovation Speakers Bureau. She started her career as a consultant at Flight Centre back in New Zealand, and was recognised for the youngest area leader in her country. Whilst touring the UK, she was recruited by Ovations and started in 2007. Today she spends her time finding and booking speakers for her clients. She's got a unique insight as to what her clients need and are looking for the future in speakers. So you're going to want to listen to what it is she has to say today. Ladies and gents, please welcome to the stage Sharmila Nahna.
Good afternoon to my new room full of speakers. How are you all? Now, I did not realise my face was going to be that big when I put together my slides, so I'm going to move that one right along. Because I believe now is a good time. Now is a good time to be in the speaking industry. And as you just heard, I'm a bureau consultant with Ovation Speakers Bureau. What you haven't been told, however, I am a gigantic, self-confessed speaker nerd. You will very rarely find me on a stage like this, where you usually find me right down the back of the conference room, watching speakers and feverishly taking a lot of notes. After 13 years in the game, I still take notes every time I see a speaker present. There's a lot to love about the speaking industry, but what I love the most are the people in it, which is lucky because my entire job usually revolves around them. My job also means that I spend a lot of time meeting with, talking to clients and speakers, many hours on my laptop, researching, watching speaker demo videos, reading bios, pulling together client proposals and contracts. And occasionally I get sidetracked and buy shoes on the Iconic, because I'm a bureau consultant, but you know, I'm a human too, okay? So why is it a good time? The world is moving fast. The world feels like it's gone a little bit crazy right now, but it's still a good time, and it's a good time to get started. Today I'm here for you though, so I want to get a gauge on how the room is feeling, and I'm going to ask you to make a little bit of noise for me. Could you please, just make noise randomly. Yes, are you alive? Are you still alive? Oh my goodness, thank you. Feel free to stand up, but I would love you to clap if you know what a Speakers Bureau does. Oh, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. Could you please give me a clap if you've ever been booked by a bureau for a paid speaking engagement? A little bit quieter. I'm glad I'm here. And please, honest audience, give me a big clap. Absolutely no idea. No idea what a Speakers Bureau does. Be honest. I love a bit of honesty. Okay, great. All right. Well, a speaker I work with, Kamal Sama, recently introduced myself and my colleague Jane to the stage to a room full of speakers, and he said this: you are the gift. You are the agents of change, and you are the gift to the audience. The Speakers Bureau is like the gift wrapping, which I thought was a really fun way to explain the relationship between us. And I work with a wide range of clients looking for all kinds of gifts. Often they don't know which gift they're after. I need to find the gift, recommend it, wrap it up so beautifully and irresistibly, and make it easy for them to buy. And then when they've chosen their gift, I do all the things I need to do to get that gift ready for the stage so you, the speaker, can deliver the gift to the audience. Now is a good time. Let's start with some good news. Start where you are. The good news is it's never been easier to become a speaker. The barriers to entry are low. It's never been a better time to become a speaker. And I'm often asked, how do I get started and when is it a good time to start? Because the business of speaking is a beautiful business model. You get to do what you love, create an income, be your own boss, travel the world, and meet fascinating people along the way. So people are always interested, how do I get started and when is a good time to start? When is it a good time to start? The answer is right now, if you haven't started already. Right now. Starting where you are can often feel a bit clunky and a bit hard. So it's hard, it's easy to get stuck and feel a little bit overwhelmed. I remember my first day at Ovations 13 years ago. I walked into the office in Balmain and I was so nervous. Looked cool as a cucumber, absolutely packing it on the inside. So I was walking to the office with 0 briefs and 0 clients. It's a bit like when you're a speaker when you're first starting out. And I won't say I had 0 skills. I had a strong selling background and leadership background from my previous roles. But I just arrived in Australia and I had arrived to live here for the first time, and I knew nothing about the speaking and events industry. So what I did when I started was I created a motto, and it was so helpful in my beginning days, and I use it to this very day. So I wanted to share that with you, and that is simplicity wins. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or you feel like there's a little bit too much on, simplicity wins. I realised when I started at Ovations there were a simple set of systems, there were a simple set of behaviours that if I did consistently well, I knew were going to take me where I needed to go. For example, every day, for many days at Ovations, I would make 50 sales calls a day, every day. That's about 7 an hour, plus all the follow-up work that you do when you connect with a client. What that allowed me to do was get basic event briefs to start practicing. Simplicity wins. So one of the best ways to get started is find your own speaking gigs. I committed to making 50 calls a day, every day for a long time. How many calls and how many emails can you commit to making every day? The other way you can get started immediately is to speak at every opportunity. And again, that might sound so basic to you. Simplicity wins. The more you speak, the better you get at it. Speaking at every opportunity is a great way to get seen. There's a really interesting study and a survey that's come out of the US meeting and events industry recently, and there was a number in that survey that really captured my attention. That number was 78%. 78% of people who book speakers will do so if they have already seen you speak or you've been recommended to them. That's a big number, 78%. So it really is a case of speak more to speak more. Our CEO, Leanne, was recently speaking at an event, and there were a lot of newbies in the room, and she had them in mind when she said this. And she said, speak for free before you speak for a fee. Don't be afraid to practice and speak at no charge. And just on Tony's point, there is a really great new software called Virtual Speech. And if you don't have the opportunity to speak to a live audience and practice, you can choose your virtual audience and practice virtually. So that's a really great, it's Virtual Speech if you want to have a look at that. So if you are going to speak for free at any time in your speaking career, not only are you going to get better, but there are other mutual wins. And these are things like finding out who is going to be in the room. You're going to do that anyway for your presentation. Who's going to be in the room? Who do I need to speak to when I'm there, and who could I connect with afterwards? Remember, 78%, somebody in that room might go, you're fantastic, I need you for my team or my business. So 78%. If you're going to speak for free, always ask your event manager for a testimonial. A testimonial is a really great way to help you find future clients. Clients want to hear what other clients have had to say about you. The idea with a testimonial is to work your way up to getting them from reputable, recognisable organisations because they carry more weight. For example, you might like a testimonial from Google or from your local high school. So the idea is to get your testimonials from reputable, recognisable brands. And I cannot stress this enough. Wherever, whenever, always if possible, get video of yourself speaking. Not only is it super helpful to see yourself through the lens of an audience and look at how you're going on stage, if you want to pursue a speaking career, you need video footage. Again, think about that 78%, because if they have not seen you for themselves and somebody's recommended you to them, or they've found you online, bet your bottom dollar the next thing they're looking for is video of you speaking. And down the line, all professional speakers have a smart demo video, a sharp speaker reel. And to create that, you need as much video footage of you speaking on different stages to different audiences that is then spliced together for your marketing for your show reel. So those are two ways to get started. Find your own speaking gigs, or speak at every opportunity and make the most of it. Find your why. And why is it important? When you're first starting out, it can feel really overwhelming, so don't get stuck on the how too much first. First, define your why. Why do you want to speak? Is it for passion? Is it for profit? Is it for your profile? Is it for entertainment? Is it to educate? Or as Michelle talked about, is it to create a legacy? Most likely it will be a combination of a few things, but get clear on your driving why and then list your other whys. Because this is like a compass. It's like a navigation tool. If you feel lost or you feel overwhelmed, go back to your why. Now, if you're already speaking and you know what your why is, don't be afraid to revisit it. Because I believe your why is a great place to make sure that all your speaker development and all the tools you're doing in your speaking business are aligned. So when you're clear on your why, then you start looking at the how. We've already talked about a couple of ways to get started. But these are the goals that you're going to set for your speaking development and your speaking business. Now, there's a quote that I really love, and it says this: if you do the hard things first, life will be easy. And if you do the easy things first, life will be hard. Very applicable in our industry. I believe it's can feel hard and clunky to get started, but if you do the hard things first, it will make your speaking journey easier down the line. There are very few speakers that you see go from 0 to 100. There's a few exceptional people that do that, but most of the speakers that I work with have a solid platform. They've worked really hard at getting their basic fundamentals right. So these are things like your presentation skills, your bio, your topics, your marketing, your website, your video. So I believe it's worth investing in yourself and your time and doing the hard work easy, and then you'll have a sustainable speaking career further along. 5 tips to get you moving. I'm going to start with topics because I get asked about topics all the time. What's the latest topics? What's hottest trends? And I can share with you that there are some enduring trends that never go out of fashion. We're asked for them year in, year out, day in and day out. Those are things like leadership, communication, change, culture, sales and service. And then in today's environment, we're being asked for futurists, trends, digital disruption, technology, mental health and resilience, trust and ethics, sustainability and the environment. And you will find that there are a lot of overarching big trends. So you're quite often, wherever you sit, you'll sit under one of the big umbrella trends. So leadership is a really good example, and I'll use leadership. So leadership is a wide and vast space that you cannot own. It's simply too big. What you can do is own a space within it. And this is a zone you want to find and you want to be playing in. So for example, leadership mindsets for a new economy. I just created a specialty area. If anybody of you know a speaker called Colin James, he's a great educator and a great speaker, and he has a brilliant topic under the banner of leadership. It's called followership. Not only what does it take to become a great leader, what do I need to embody in action to inspire people to follow me? How do I inspire followership? Now that's clever for so many reasons. Again, simplicity wins. Colin has flipped the idea of leadership on its head with followership. It's memorable, sticky language, and he now owns a space in leadership that only he can own. So I'm going to give you 2 words, and it relates to your topics, but you can also use them in your marketing and in your profile. Pains and gains. Why pains and gains? As a speaker, you're most often booked to solve a pain or a challenge for a client or an audience, or to inspire them to a new way of thinking or doing. So in your topics, when you're writing your topics or your marketing, clearly articulate the pain or the challenge that you are going to help that client solve. And then clearly show how you will move into a new way of thinking or doing with your area of expertise, your skill, or your story. So pains and gains, easy to remember and really great for your topics and your marketing. Elevator pitch. I'm not sure if any of you here have an elevator pitch for your marketing or for when you meet people. It's a really great way for you to get clarity. The idea of an elevator pitch is to be able to distill down who you are, what you do, and how you deliver it in 1 or 2 short sentences. So there is a formula that you can use, and it goes like this. I help who your audience to what result you deliver by offering your presentation with your insight and skill. So for example, if I were to use it, I would say, I help clients find and book the right speakers for their event. If I wanted to use the whole formula, I would say, I help clients find and book the right speakers for their event by applying my expertise and making recommendations they can trust. 2 sentences. And an elevator pitch is great. When you meet someone and they ask you who you are and what you do, how great would it be if you could just say in 2 short sentences? And they go, impressive, memorable. 1 to many when you're talking to a group, super helpful. And again, it's something you can use for your pitching or your positioning in your marketing. So that's the elevator pitch. Next, I want to talk about cultivating your credibility consistently. Because I believe if you're starting out, you really want to think about your why and set your intention. And if your intention is to have longevity in the speaking game, cultivate your credibility and start thinking about how you're doing that right now. So I've popped that into 3 buckets for us. So we're going to talk about off stage, we're going to talk about being on stage, and then we're going to talk about online, the online world. Off stage. As the name suggests, it's all the things you do off stage. Because the truth of it is, as I said before, it's never been easier to become a speaker. Such good news. The bad news is, it's never been easier to become a speaker. Because you and I know in every single space, and ours included, how much noise there is. Your goal is to be able to stand apart and cut through all that noise. You want to be seen as the speaker of substance and the go-to person for your topic or your area of expertise. So off stage, all the things you're doing when you're not on the stage. These include your training, you're working on your presentation skills, the writing of your keynote, your topics, your marketing, your bio, your video, your website. There are so many things to cover in offstage, and I just don't have time to touch on them today. But offstage also is about the person you are off the stage. How much congruence do you have with how you live your life, what you speak about on stage? When you're off stage, clients and bureaus, if you get booked by one of those, they want you to be professional. They would like you to be prepared. Be a pleasure to work with, and be accessible to them in the lead up to your keynote. There are plenty of tips I could give you and case studies I could show you, but here's a really simple example. You get booked for your event. You've gone out, found your own speaking gig, you got a big tick. First thing you do when you arrive at the event is you find the event manager, the event organizer. You say, "Hi, nice to meet you, wanted to let you know I'm here, I'm prepared, I'm ready to go." And then you might say something as simple as this, "And while I'm here, my time is your time, so please don't hesitate to let me know if I can help you." Event managers, highly stressed people, do anything you can to be of service when you're off stage. On stage, everything you're doing on this beautiful stage, your presence, your presentation skills, you're going to be engaging. You're going to be weaving through some of those beautiful stories. You're going to drop in humour if it's appropriate. So when you're on stage, this kind of sounds counterintuitive. I don't want to talk about you being on stage. I want to talk about your audience. Remember how Michelle said the dots? Your audience is sitting in their seats thinking, what's in this for me? How does this relate to my world and my role? So when you're on the stage, I want you to take a light and shine it. Shine it on the people in the audience because they want to connect with you. They want to connect with your content and they want to connect with your messages. Make it as easy for them to do so as possible. It's so easy. And I was writing this keynote and I was like, what am I going to say? And you can be, it's like you're an expert in something or you're in your stuff. You're just in your stuff all day. I work in a little, speakers bureau in my world, doing my speaker bureau things that I do. But when you're talking to your audience, you've got to make it all about them. All about them. Shine a light on them and think about them always. Your area of expertise, your skills or your story, any insight you're imparting, make it relevant to their world. So that's when you're on stage. Online, again, is another huge topic. People are speaking about it for 60 minutes, half days and full days. I would recommend that you reflect who you are on stage and off stage authentically and consistently on your social media. Whatever channel or channels you decide to use those consistently with an authentic voice. And again, if you're talking to your online community, shine a light on them. Ask yourself this question: is what I'm putting out shareable? Because you want your online community to comment, you want them to engage, and if at all possible, you'd love them to share your messages so that you can amplify your influence. So that's off stage, on stage, online, thinking about being intentional with your business and who you want to be in this world and in this industry. I left selling to last because it's my favourite topic, and you're probably sitting there thinking, hey, I'm signing up to be a speaker. I'm not a salesperson. The truth of the matter is, in this industry, you have to get good at selling yourself. And selling is not a dirty word. Get engaged with selling and get people engaged with you. If you really are not comfortable with the idea of being a salesperson, think about how can you be of service. How can I help this person get what they want or what they need? How can I be of service? So get in that mindset and get good at selling yourself. So on the screen here, we have a young speaker called Josh Norbido that we manage. And he is a brilliant example of someone who's just taken something he's good at, he's a magician, and found a niche in the market. So he created a keynote called The Magic of Sales. So what he does is he takes some stories and some case studies and he drops in a bit of humour, shines the light on the audience, gives them the insight, gives them the tips on how to sell and connect. And then, because he's a magician, he performs these beautiful illusions throughout the keynote to illustrate his main points. Now, I'm not sharing this story with you because I think I have a room full of budding magicians just waiting to become keynote speakers. I share this with you because there are no rules for getting started. There are no rules for getting started, so don't let anyone or anything stop you. There are no rules for getting started. And speaking of rule breakers, where's Sam Cawthorne? Hey! I don't even know if Sam will remember this because I've known Sam for a long time. And I saw Sam speak for the first time many years ago in a little room at a business breakfast in Sydney. And since then, we know Sam has gone on to become an international keynote speaker. Great husband. Where's Kate? Can she attest it? Great husband, great dad. Yeah. An author. And he and his beautiful wife, Kate, the founders of the Speakers Institute, and the reason that we're all here in this room together today. Yes. Very good. And I can tell by being here in this room, you've already taken an important step in your speaker journey. That is so exciting to me. Do you know why? Because you're in charge. You get to decide the type of speaker you want to become. You decide. So, I encourage you to grab the rest of this conference, or the rest of 2020, make it yours, and I wish you the very best for the future.
Sam Cawthorne here, CEO and founder of Speakers Institute. If you give me 60 seconds of your time, I'll show you how to set up an online webinar in 48 hours while growing your authentic followers to tens of thousands, and then teach you how to package your IP so they buy your programs online using what we call influence on video. What this means is you talk to camera, share your value, and then stack your offerings and create urgency in a way that makes it so irresistible that they click the button and purchase your high ticket sale. Talk with any of our clients globally, and I promise you will not find anyone that does what we do. All you have to do is to create an online event, share your ideas, and then stack your offerings just like this. And here's the big secret. Everyone is online right now searching for people just like you to help them learn things that you already know. There are people doing it right now, but they probably don't know as much as you. So right now is your chance to learn how to sell online, and my influence on video formula is easy to use and foolproof for anyone to master. Just recently, I did a 1.5 hour video online to only 40 people, and at the end, 10 of them bought my $4,000 product, all by one click of the button. It was seamless. So if you want me to show you how to influence on video, stack your offerings that make it irresistible, learn my exact script so you can come across authentic and real, and create urgency so then they buy immediately, then click on the link below and join my free masterclass.
To firstly acknowledge you, Sam. Thank you so much for instituting the Speakers Institute and all of the lovely people who've attended today. I think they've done an absolutely wonderful job. I think all of their stories are worthy of stage presence. I think you'll all go very far.
I just wanted to say, being out of the workforce for 6 years, looking after little kids, and this is the first course I've ever done. And it was astounding. It blew my mind. It was beyond my expectations. And thank you, Kate, for the feedback today. That was brilliant. And it's given me the confidence to back myself, because I didn't have that before. Because, you know, when you leave for a while and you come back, it's all a bit dodgy. So thank you.
Basically, because I felt that despite having a successful career, I was being held back by my own internal difficulty with public speaking. Obviously, it's been a really valuable 3 days. I caught a lot of techniques, a lot of experience on speaking, but I think surprisingly the most important thing as well, my message. I really nailed down what my message is to take out there into the world.
I think the process was useful. I think it helped me really clean up and clarify my story, and I think that should go a long way to take me to where I want to.
This is the Celebrity Authority Show. Please welcome your host, Sam Cawthorne.
Very cool. Welcome here to another show. Super excited about our guest here today. We have Ian Coombe. Ian, thank you so much for joining us here on the Celebrity Authority Show.
Thank you, Sam, for deciding to have me.
I like that, because you are actually an author and a thought leader in decision making. How important is decision making at the moment?
Oh, it's incredibly important now, and especially for the future, because we're making faster and faster decisions that determine our success, our future success. We make 35,000 decisions every single day. That equates to 1 million a month, or in my lifetime, my adult lifetime, 500 million decisions. If only I had $1 for every one of those, I'd be half a billionaire.
That is fascinating. It really is fascinating. And ultimately, in order for you to be a greater leader, whether it's leading your family or even in your business and professional life, you need to make solid decisions. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Psychologists will tell you that people that are happiest feel in control of their lives. So decisions help you take control. And if you make bad decisions, you lose control. So the decision making is all about control. And as I put it, superiority. Because when I was doing it for the military, we didn't want to come second. We wanted to be the best. So being the best in any situation was what was important.
And tell us a little bit more about your career. You've had an extraordinary career, mainly with the military. Tell us a little bit more.
Sure. I was in the Army for roughly 20 years, 6 months, 2 days and 15 hours. My pension depended on it, so you had to calculate every single bit of it. And that's more of a joke. I actually loved every moment of it and got out on a high. I achieved so many things there. I went around the world with it. Won the US military commendation. I've got commendations for a lot of things. And I was keynote speaker for the highest intelligence courses. I've presented to generals. You name it, it's just been a phenomenal career. And I suppose where my decision making started, apart from making decisions all my life, where it started was when I was first posted as a fresh-faced major in Army headquarters. I was tasked with being responsible. One of my roles was being responsible for all of the Army software. So I had a lot of budget to spend, and I thought, what do I do? What do I have to provide software for? What processes? So I studied all the Army's processes, and in the process became the expert on business process modelling and re-engineering, which I used a whole lot in my career. So there's a lot of decisions there. So I worked out that, and I had this problem that when I was hearing all these words, I asked people where are all the policies on software, and I said, well, if someone wants to know a policy, they phone you up and ask you. I said, it's not written down? No. So I decided to write them down, and I had all this problem with words like data management and information management and knowledge management was big. So I thought there was a fair bit of incongruency with all those definitions, a bit of inconsistency, so I developed that, and that's where I started. And since then I've had CEO careers, chairman of the board careers, and all that sort of stuff. But right now I'm focusing on getting the word out so I can help as many people as possible, not just the military.
One of your papers as well I've read that has been deemed quite even above the level of top secret.
Yes.
Are we allowed to know what exactly was that?
Well, it was a process that I developed for making decisions that gave the military so much of a winning advantage that it was deemed to be above top secret, and I had to fight and fight and fight to get that to be able to talk about it. So that's the decision process that I've now published and I now talk about.
Can we know
for information and data and all that? And I had a colleague who was the go-to person for information warfare in defence, and I became the futurist and go-to information warfare person for Army as well. So we got on pretty well. And he invited himself to my office, and I had it up on my board and I explained to him, data is the very basis of all of it. So when you make a decision, you have to collect data. And then when you recognise it, then it becomes information. So information is the second thing. So this is a 5-step wicked decision process for getting superiority. So
sorry, tell me more about wicked.
So wicked is spelt W-I-K-I-D, wicked decision making, and it's a 5-step process. So data is at the very basis. So you have to collect data through all the senses. There's human data, digital data, and also physical data. That's too difficult to go into right now. But then when you recognise that either machine or people recognise it goes into information. But the information, if I gave you my book, you'd have my information, but you wouldn't have the knowledge. So then only when you experience it, it becomes knowledge. So that's the K. Yeah, okay. And then when you wonder what other knowledge does it relate to, and you start putting together bits of knowledge. See, I was also in the intelligence part of the military as well. So when you get it together, you then start forming bits of intelligence. So when you take knowledge and wonder, you then get intelligence. That's the next I. And then intelligence is no good unless you apply it to an opportunity. So then when you apply it to an opportunity, then you get wisdom, and that's really important. But the thing with decision making is you can have wisdom and you can work out what the best decision is, but unless you participate in the environment, then you don't get power. And the whole thing about it was showing people how to get not just power, but superior power.
Yeah, and I love that. And ultimately, that's really what we all want and crave. Tell us a little bit more, again, this wicked decision making. So, sorry, can I just unpack this again? Wicked, W stands for?
Wisdom, intelligence, knowledge, information, and data, and that's going back down. And when my colleague came into my office, he actually said to me, because I was going through it, and it started very much with Mark, and he said, "Oh, Ian, that's wicked," and I hadn't even realised before. But he said, I said, "Yeah." I said that to him. I said, "Yeah, it's wicked, Mark," and he says, "No, I mean it spells wicked," and ever since then I've used it.
Brilliant.
And people remember it now, and
it's easy, memorable.
I remember going into the compound, the military compound in Defence Headquarters, walking in one day, and I saw this very top-ranking general, and he said to me, "Oh, hi, Ian." And firstly, I thought, "Oh, he's remembered my name. That was good." And he said, "How's Wicked Power going?" And I said, "Oh, I can't believe you've remembered it." And he says, "I do." And I said, "Do you remember what it stands for?" And he rattled it off word perfect. So it's a great acronym to help people work out how to make better decisions for superiority and control in their lives. Not just the military, but everyone.
Ian, you've achieved so much from 5 books all the way through to top tier in military intelligence. Really, give us a little bit more about what's the next chapter for you. What's next?
I no longer do the keynote speaking as the opener for the advanced intelligence courses here, and all that sort of stuff is in the past. So the next chapter of my life is all my kids have left home now, so they've only just left home. It's great. It's a great relief.
Yes. I'm free.
So I'm free to do anything I like, and my passion is helping people make decisions because it has such an impact. It really transforms a lot of people's lives. The 35,000 decisions we make every day, when you make a bad one, it can really hurt and it can be incredibly costly. Yeah. So if you make less bad ones and more good ones, that's what I'm trying to help people make. I'm a huge philanthropist. I've been on boards and president of boards of lots of charities, been CEO of charities and all that. So I can't help but give back and help people. It's in my DNA. So that's what I want to do. So my thrust now is to help people by writing books and speaking and doing workshops.
Great, and I really like that. And I really feel that the more that we can help people make solid decisions, the more that we can make this world a better place, or that we can make this world more of a wicked place.
Absolutely.
Hey, so Ian, look, really inspired by who you are, what you do, and obviously the difference that you're making. What do you do for yourself to recharge your tank, to spend time for Ian? What do you do?
Well, I can be very intense. So when I'm thinking and inside my headspace, there's a lot of logic thinking that happens. So to give my brain a bit of a rest, I love being creative. So I love Photoshop. So I do a lot of Photoshop.
Really?
But the third aspect I love to do for recreation is, apart from being with my partner, so Donna, you're a part of it. But the third part of it is that I love getting on my Vespa and going down the local cafe and just chatting with the people there and socialising.
Great, that's really, really great. Ian, thank you so much for joining us here on the Celebrity Authority Show. An amazing interview we did today. But look, just before you go, for all of our guests, we have a challenge. And the challenge is called the 10 Questions in 60-Second Challenge. So, Ian Coombe, do you accept the challenge?
Let me decide. Yes!
Very good, very good, very good. All right, Ian, your time starts now. Favourite colour?
It's no longer khaki, it's tangerine orange.
Tangerine
orange. The
orange.
energy I love.
Yes, yes. Favourite food?
Favourite food is Thai. It's just, love the flavours.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's also my favourite food at the moment. Favourite celebrity?
Favourite celebrity is Bill Gates. I think that what he's done with his life after that and how he contributes and gives back.
Yeah, it's extraordinary, the Gates Foundation. Favourite actor?
Actor Sean Connery.
Very good, yes.
Yes, a book fell on his head and he said he had his shelf to blame.
Yes, yes. You got to work on your accent.
I'm no good.
Favourite professional speaker?
Professional speaker, my second favourite professional speaker is Jack Zufelt. You, of course, being the top. Jack Zufelt, he did the DNA of success, so he had a formula for what made people successful.
Great. Favourite book?
Favourite book is, I love Dan Brown. I love his formula he has for making it, being a page turner, and the book is Digital Fortress. Yeah, being an IT geek,
Yeah, absolutely. Favourite movie?
Favourite movie? Toy Story. I love the creativity, the way it brings back all my old memories of all my old toys.
Oh, that's brilliant. Favourite city?
Favourite city has to be Brisbane. I've lived all around the world, but Brisbane has it all. It's got the lifestyle, the energy, the laid back, everything.
Good. Favourite drink?
Favourite drink, Scotch when I'm allowed.
Favourite pizza topping?
It's tandoori and yogurt, for sure.
Very good, very good. I love it. And Ian Coombe, if you could be an animal, which animal would you be?
It would have to be a panda. And it's not because it's black and white, but because you get lots of tummy rubs, and also it's a protected species.
Very good! joining us here, Ian Coombe on the Celebrity Authority Show. Get happy now is the mantra our next speaker lives by. She is an accomplished author, adventurer, and a successful businesswoman. She is dedicated to making a difference in the lives of everyone she meets. Today, she will share her secrets to transcend your life to being the best you can be. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Carla Marie! Yay!
What does it mean to get happy now? It's scientifically proven that happiness is a choice, as the way that we choose to see our world. A minion from Despicable Me once said that happiness is when we learn to love ourselves without the exclusion of all others. This is why it's so important that we learn the tools every single day to get happy now. Perhaps you wake up every day, press snooze 5 times before dragging yourself out of bed to get to a job that, well, bores you. And then you go and have lunch with your work colleagues and, to be honest, they bore you too. And then you come home at night to sit in front of the TV to watch the same TV show you watched the last 6 seasons of, to eat a quick dinner so you can go to bed, wake up and do exactly the same thing the very next day. Research tells us that 78% of the Australian population is feeling unsatisfied and unfulfilled at work. And the average Australian is watching between 6 to 8 hours of TV a day. Or possibly, you're one of the 70% of the Australian population doing little or no exercise. And you know that you should, and you actually really do want to, but the thought of getting up any earlier or when you get home at night putting your shoes back on to go out the door, well, you can't be bothered. Or possibly, when you look in that mirror, you hate that person you see staring back at you. Do you find that you can get so caught up in the routine of life that you actually forget to smile? This was me. I was so caught up in that routine. And my routine was pretty good. I got up, I went to the gym, I came home, I worked for myself. On the outside, it looked great. But I never really stopped to ask myself if I actually was happy. Had I forgotten how to smile? As a little girl, I used to love to play hide and seek. I'd run home from school every single day. I just could not wait. I always played with my next door neighbour. His name's Dave. He's just a few years older than me. This one day, my brother, his name's Brendan, he said he wanted to join. Cool, sounds fun. So we start to go up to Dave's house. And then Brendan says, I know. How about I go and hide in the bush and then you guys can come and find me? Cool idea. So Brendan runs off and, well, I continue up into Dave's house. And as soon as I step in, I really notice how dark it is. And it's really empty. And then Dave says, hey, Carla, I know. How about we go into my parents' room, we create a plan, and then we'll go and find your brother? Okay. So, well, as any 10-year-old girl does, I step into the room. And all of a sudden I get this really weird feeling. My hairs start to stick up and I get a shiver down my spine and I hear the door shut. But the door just doesn't shut. It also locks. And then Dave says, Carla, there's something I've always wanted to do to you. And well, before I know it, I'm down in the bed and my clothes are starting to come off and I'm saying, stop it, I don't want to do this. Can we stop? Please stop. Thankfully that day, the worst case scenario didn't happen to me. But what did happen had a huge significant impact on my life, and I couldn't wait to escape reality. So as soon as I could, that's exactly what I did. I packed my bags and I jet set off overseas. And I spent 3.5 years doing some crazy cool stuff. I did Oktoberfest, running the bulls, trekking to Everest Base Camp. I was living the dream. But then the reality hit. My visa ran out, my money ran dry, and well, I had to come home to Australia. And I remember sitting on that plane and I was so nervous. Are people going to like me? I'm different. But before long, I got caught up in that routine of life, and it was only that I was at my brother's wedding and everyone was dancing, and well, I'm dancing on the dance floor, but I'm crying my eyes out. I can hear people saying, I think Carla's had too much to drink. But the real reason I was crying was because I was so done with being that girl. I was so exhausted with the same questions. Carla, have you got a boyfriend yet? Carla, are you on RSVP? Carla, maybe you need to stop being so picky. Maybe Mr. Right isn't out there. And it was in this moment that I had this huge flashback. And I went straight back to that room that day and I realized, oh my goodness. That day I created a decision that just impacted the next 10 years of my life. And it was in this moment that I decided that I needed to change. I couldn't rely on anyone else to make me happy. If I wanted to be happy, I need to learn to love myself. So that's exactly what I did. From that moment on, I learned to be happy no matter what circumstances I was under. So let me ask you a question. Are you happy? And I don't just mean, yeah, life's good, I'm cruising along fine. I mean, are you really, really happy? Because the thing is, we only get one chance at life, one chance. So we need to make it our best. So today I'd like to teach you my system. It's called the RAD system. The first step is R. You need to realize that you need to make a change. You know, nothing changes if nothing changes. A. We need to accept responsibility. You know, for a long time I was blaming others. I was blaming Dave. I was blaming the guys I was going on dates with. But no, until I accepted responsibility and I chose not to be a victim, but instead to transcend and then create my future. D. Decide now. Don't do it in 1 week, in 2 weeks. If you want to make a change, make it right now. And D. Daily effort. You know, we clean our teeth every day, so we need to do our exercises every single day. So on the screen, you'll see a list of my daily action plan. Unfortunately, today, I don't have time to go through them all with you, but I'd like to leave you with two of my favorite. The first is daily affirmations. You know, for a long time, I was that girl that looked in the mirror and I hated who I saw staring back at me. I had pimples all over my face. My friends were always so much prettier than me. So I started looking in the mirror and I started saying to myself, Carla, you are amazing. And at the beginning, it felt very weird and unnatural. But over time, it got better and better. And now I can tell you, I can stand here and I can say to you that, yes, I am amazing. What do you say when you look at yourself in the mirror? And the last and final gift I'd like to leave you with is the gift of gratitude. And you know, gratitude has honestly changed my life. Every day I'll write down 10, 20 things I can be grateful for. And it can be anything from the coffee I had at lunch or the good night's sleep I got the night before. You know, I still remember doing the Kokoda Trail. My group, we were hungry, we were tired, and we were starting to whinge a lot. My porter, he says, oh, I don't get you Aussies. He goes, you come to my country and you want to walk. And then we start to walk and all you do is whinge. He said, me, I walk all day, every day. I have no shoes on my feet. I carry all your bags and I'm hungry. But when I get home and I see my wife and my baby, oh, me just so happy. What are you grateful for? And today I'd like to finish with us all taking a moment to stand up. So please come on over and stand up. And take a moment just to shut down your eyes and to place a hand over your heart. And just to be completely present. You know, in this moment, all over the world right now, there's people dying, there's people struggling. And we have the gift to be here, to have a breath flowing through our body, to have a heart beating inside our chest. So decide right now to get happy. Thank you.
My name is Tony Tan and I am the co-founder and deputy CEO of Imperium Solutions, and I have been running this organization for 17 years. In fact, it was a good run. However, 3 years back, we had some issues, and the problem is there's just too much noise in the market and there's just too much competition. And because of that, our messages just got lost in this crowd. My organization is a small-medium enterprise. We compete with global leaders and Fortune 500 companies for talent. And during that time, I was fortunate enough to find myself a coach and also got the proximity of a group of people who have taught me the power of storytelling and story showing. And from this, we have adopted our presentation and incorporated elements of story showing so that I can get emotionally connected with my clients. And today, our results is drastically different. We have better relationships, better sales, because every time we get that emotional connection. I'm glad to say that this journey with my mentor, my proximity, and the frameworks that I've learned has served me well. Today, my company has transformed for the better. If you are a business leader, if you are going through a transition in life, if you are looking to be a better influencer, or you are just looking to create a legacy for yourself, communication and content is key.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode here at Speakers TV. My name is Sam Cawthorne and we are super excited about Speakers TV and about these episodes that we bring to you every single weekday as well as also on every single Saturday. Guys, we'd love to hear from you. If you've got any feedback at all for us, or maybe you want to comment right now in the chat bar about what was your biggest takeaway from today's session. But also not only that, why don't you join us? So here at Speakers Institute, we do have a number of programs such as our online boot camps or our protege program. At Speakers Tribe here, we're all about running these big, large annual conferences every year. But also not only that, there is an annual membership that you can get where in your city we do have tribe gatherings, all really encouraging you going from where you are today to where you really want to be. Or maybe you want to tell your friends and your family about Speakers TV. But can I please encourage you, why don't you like this page? Why don't you join us each day? Why don't you tell other people about these episodes? Because we are all about really helping you on this journey to becoming that recognized voice of authority, for you to find your message and your story and get that out there into the world. We are super excited about your journey, so please lean in and join us today. To your success, my name is Sam Cawthorn, and don't forget, the best is yet to come.